Hello students, this is class 10th employability skills and I am going to explain chapter ICT skills. Dear students, ICT means information and communication technology, means we will learn about the computer system in this chapter. So first of all, we need to learn about the operating system and its classes. So operating system means a software that serves as an interface between user and the computer. So dear students, without an operating system, a computer is not going to work. If we have hardware with us, but unless and until no operating system is there in a computer, so computer is not going to work. So here I am going to explain about some important functions of operating system. Operating system is the backbone of a computer system, okay, because without operating system the computer is not going to work. So here are some functions of operating system. First of all, it manages all the devices of the computer and keeps track of status of the devices, whether it is busy or not. Yes, you can say the operating system acts as the principal of your computer system, right? So it manages all the device. It manages all the device and it keeps a track of all the devices, whether a system is busy or not, whether a system is working perfectly or not. It checks all the devices. Second is, it also checks whether the device is functioning properly or not. Yes, it is a function of the operating system, dear students. Sometimes what you see when you are connected with the printer, your computer is connected with the printer and there is paper jam in the printer. So you get a message on a screen that the paper is jammed, but the paper has been stuck in the printer only, and which we cannot see, right? But we get a message. So who is going to give us the message? That message is received by the operating system. It is delivered by the operating system, which we get. It controls all the software resources. Whatever the softwares are there in the computers, they are all controlled by the operating system only. It manages a computer memory. Yes, it manages a computer memory. Sometimes we always we save our work always in one single drive, but it is full, okay, every time we are saving that. So we get such kind of messages that so and so memory has been saved by your computer or in this drive. So where we get this message, all these kind of messages about the memory usage we get from the operating system only. Next is, it manages structures of the file and directories on a computer system. Yes, it manages the structure. Structures means what kind of file is there and how it has been saved and where it is to be saved. It keeps track of amount of disk space used by the specific file. Yes, suppose you want to upload a movie on your computer, but you are not getting that particular you are getting the message that there is no sufficient space in your computer system. From where you get this message? You get from the operating system only. Okay, so all that kind of work which is which allows you to create, copy and move, delete files, that work is also controlled by the operating system only. Now we'll learn about the types of operating system. Dear students, there are many types of operating systems. So a few examples are given to us. One is a disk operating system, that is DOS. In beginning, after just before so many years, the computer used to work on the disk operating system. So this operating system, where the black and white screen was there and only the screen was black, and we used to type on the computer. There was no graphics, there were no diagrams, only the typing content can be there, the files can be created, and the databases can be stored. And the second type of operating system is a Windows operating system, and in Windows operating system is operating systems which we are using nowadays, with all the graphics, images, icons, Windows, everything is there. So next is the Linux operating system. It is designed for the personal computers. It is free and open source software. Yes, Linux can be downloaded free of cost from the net, from the internet, and it is open source software, means the source code is also provided to us and we can make the changes in the source code and we can create a new version of that particular operating system. Next is the mobile operating systems are also there. Android, Symbian, Windows Phone and iOS, these are the various operating systems. Now different types of operating systems, these are the examples of operating systems, and the different types of operating systems are interactive GUI based. GUI means a graphical user interface, which I have just explained you that it is a user friendly operating systems. We can give the commands by entering, clicking, double clicking, right clicking a mouse, and the Windows operating system is a best example of this. Okay, so we are using Windows. Windows is a GUI based, that is graphical user interface based operating system. So next one is a single user and single task operating system. Single user means only one person can use that computer and only one kind of work can be there. Okay, that is a single task operating system. The other type of operating system is a single user but multiple tasks can be done. Okay, single user means suppose I am working on my computer and I can do multiple type of work. I can draw there, I can listen to the music, I can give commands on the computer. So multiple tasks can be assigned to an operating system. So that is your multitasking operating system. So multi-user means multiple users can use that same operating system on the same computer. So that is known as your multi-user operating system. And if we talk about the real-time operating system, it is used to control machinery, scientific instruments like robots, in complex animations and computer-controlled automated machines. Dear students, real-time operating systems are used basically for the scientific purposes and complex calculations and in the machine learning and robotics. Okay, so these kinds of computers which are used in these special purposes, they are known as real-time operating system. The next is a distributed. A distributed operating system runs on a set of computers that are interconnected by a network. When the computers are connected in a network and they are sharing the information, and they are known as it combines the different computers in the network into a single integrated computers, and it allocates the storage location also. That is a distributed, means the computers are combined together and they are there connected together with the help of LAN cables, and the work is distributed on them. Now we'll talk about the Windows 7 operating systems, and you can see the components over here. So the first component, as you can see, this is the computer icons. These the small pictures which are available on the computer. These are small icons. So this is the recycle bin where it saves all the deleted files. This is start button. It is used to start the programs. So these small are the icons, and this is a wallpaper. This is a wallpaper. You can means the designs here, and this is a taskbar which saves, which controls, or which saves, which shows basically all the programs where we are working at that current time. The next is your computer. So whenever you'll open any of the window, these small windows or these small icons you can see on the screen. This is the minimize button, this is minimize button, this is maximize button, and this is the close button, right? And this is the hard disk. All this is hard disk. I'm showing this to you on the PC. Here you can see I have opened the My Computer folder. In this My Computer folder, you can see the different hard disks which are available on a computer systems. Here in this computer system, only in the hard disk, only one disk has been generated, that is local disk C. And the other removable devices or other removable storage devices can be shown over here. Suppose I insert a pen drive in this computer system, so that will be flashed in this particular part. So this is the hard drive area and this is the removable storage area. This is the minimize button. By clicking on this, the files can be minimized, and by clicking on this and maximize button, the window will be maximized, and this is used to close the window. Okay. Here students, now we'll talk about the taskbar. Taskbar is the longest horizontal bar which is available at the bottom of the screen. This is the taskbar which is available. This is the start button. These are all the programs which you can store in your taskbar to open them quickly. Otherwise, whatever the application you have opened, that will be also available in the taskbar. Suppose right now you are working in Microsoft Word, so you can see that this is the highlighted part. So this is the active application which we have already opened. On the right hand side of your taskbar, notification area is there where you will get all kind of notifications, and this is the time. This is the date and time icon. This is the arrow should be here. So this is the date and time icon. So by clicking on this, you can change the date and time of your computer. So this is a worksheet which you need to do based on the content whichever I have explained you just now. Okay, so this is a worksheet which you have to do today. So if we'll talk about the file structure, the file structure means I have just explained you about the drives. Suppose we are talking about the drives D, okay, C drive, D drive, drives are there. So if we are talking about the D drives, the different folders can be created, and in the folders, subfolders can also be created, like 1 and 3 folders, folder file 1 and folder 3. So file and folders all can be occupied in a folder. So this is folder 2, and further the folder 4 has been created inside this folder. So further more files can be created. What does it mean? It means in a particular drive, any number of folders can be created, and files and other files, any kind of files and folders can be stored or occupied in a particular folder. You can store anything in a particular folder. Okay, so this is how our files and folders being saved. Now the step comes that how can we create a folder? How can we create a folder? Okay, so these are the steps which are given here. I am explaining you a simplest way to create a folder. What you need to do is, for that you need to right click on the desktop. Right click anywhere on the desktop and you will get this option new. Okay, you need to click on new and click on the folder. A new folder can be created. So this is a new folder which you have just created, and by clicking on this you can write the name. Suppose I want to make this folder with the name class 10. Okay, so this is the folder which I want to create. So this folder has been created. Dear students, next content is creating a file, renaming a folder and files, and deleting files or folders. So I am going to explain all these points to you practically. So creating a file, renaming a folder or a file, and deleting the files and folders. Now let's get started for it. Dear students, here we have learned how to create a folder which I have just created for you, right? So now I am explaining you that how can you create a file. For that you need to right click anywhere on the desktop, and whenever you click on new, different kind of file formats are available to you. Suppose you want to you want to open a spreadsheet document, so you need to click on this and this file will be opened. Okay, so you can save your content. Suppose this is the class 10 file I am making, class 10, and the subject is this is employability skills. Okay, so this is a file which we have created. Suppose I want to save this. Click on save as. The file will be saved. Where you are going to save the files, you need to search for it. You need to search the file. This is the desktop which you need to select, and the name of the file. Suppose I am saving this file with class 10 employability, right? So and we need to select the folder. This is the desktop. The second step is we need to select the folder which we have created. So the folder which we had created was class 10. Double click on it, the folder will be opened, and click on save. Now you have selected the desktop. In the desktop you have selected the file, you have selected the folder, that is class 10, by double clicking on it, and inside this class 10 folder, you are going to save this file, that is class 10 employability skills. So I'm going to click on save, right? So I'm going to click on save now. So it is showing that it is not compatible. Yes, we need to save a file. The file will be saved. Okay. And the other ways, you can save the file and you can drag. I am showing this to you. So this is the folder. Again, I am opening for you. So this is a folder which we had created on the desktop. This is desktop. This is a file. This is a folder class 10. And if I am going to double click on it, the file has been opened. So this is a file which we had created. Now I am going to close this. The second step is I want to rename it. I want to rename. You need to right click on this. Select and right click. Select and right click on this. You will get the option rename. So you can change the name of the file. Suppose I have made a changes, that is class 10. I am making this changes. Now click outside anywhere the name has been changed. Okay, so this is the other shortcut way of changing the file name is select the file, press the F2 function key. So this will be highlighted, and now you can change the file name, that is leave it till class 10 only. So again the file name has been changed. So if you want to delete the file, what you can do is you can click and press the delete button. The file will be deleted and it will be shifted to the recycle bin. If you want to delete the folder also, click on the folder, press the delete button, the file will be deleted to the and will be reached to the recycle bin. Dear students, now we will learn about copying files and folders. Yes, we are going to learn about how to copy a file and a folder. So file can be copied in three ways, that is shortcut menu. For that we need to right click on any of the file and select the copy and it can be pasted. The second is drag and drop. We can drag a file and drop it anywhere, right? So the next is copy a file in a folder, hold down Control key and drag it to the new location. And the third one is using the Control C and Control V. So let's say this practically. So dear students, let's watch this practically. Suppose this is a file which I want to copy in this folder. So this is a file. What you need to do is, first method is right click on the select and right click on it, press the copy command and open the folder and you just right click over there and paste. As you can see that the file, one copy has been made of a particular file. This is HTML programs and this is again the HTML programs. So one copy has been created of that file and it has been pasted. The other way, now if I want to delete this file, what you can do is select and press the delete key, the file will be deleted. Now let's learn the second method. You need to select this. Now press the control key, drag, as you can see, copy to the desktop. Now my mouse is having one copy with it, right? So copy to class 10. Okay. So if I open this, HTML program is there. Okay. So now it has been added over here. So the next will be, if I don't want this, what we can do is we can select and press the delete button. So the next command will be, the next command is using the shortcut keys. Suppose I want this file to be here, Control C, and you need to select here and press Control V. The file has been pasted. So these are the three ways using which you can copy and paste a file in a folder. Dear children, now we will learn about moving files and folders. How to move a file and a folder. Moving means moving it from one place and dropping it at other place. Means we need to remove a file from one place and we need to drop it at different place. So the other is permanently deleting the files. How we can delete the files permanently. Okay, the next one is how we can restore the files and folders from the recycle bin window. So let's learn them practically. Yes students, now we will learn how to move a file. Move means we need to remove one file from one place and need to paste somewhere else. Okay, suppose this is a folder which I want to move from here and paste it inside it. So what should I do? I need to select the folder by right clicking on it. I need to cut it. Okay, moving means we need to cut. Click over here and right click and click on the paste. The folder has been moved. The other way is you can select the folder. You can press the Ctrl X, that is a shortcut key. Now you can right click and you can press the Ctrl plus V. The folder has been pasted. So there are two ways to move a file, that is by right clicking and select the cut option and click on the destination and press the right click and use the paste option. The other is select the folder, now press the Ctrl X and now click click on the final location and press the Ctrl plus V button. The file and folder will be copied. Now the thing comes to you is how can we use or how can we manage our files in the recycle bin. So this is the recycle bin. I am going to close this. So this is the recycle bin. I am going to double click on it, right? So these are all the files and folders which I have deleted from my computer. Suppose I want this file to be on the desktop, or it will reach to the original position. Okay, it will reach to the original position. Suppose I had selected this, so I want to restore, means how can we get it back from the recycle bin? You need to click on restore option. As you will click on restore, it will tell us that this destination already contains a folder file. No, I am not going to take this because it is already there. And suppose I am selecting this, right click on this, restore. Okay, so the file has been moved from here, and let's see, this is a file from where I had deleted. I deleted this file from here only and it will reach to the final destination. जहाँ से हमने वो file को remove किया था, it will be saved again on that particular location only. So students, thank you very much, and that's all for the ICT chapter today. Thank you.